y'all, it's Crafty Hope here, and welcome to my ICAD 2021 Card 10 video. This video is, I've got information about ICAD below, but basically it's all about altering an index card with some mixed media art, and you have the option to use some prompts. I'm working from two different prompts. There's the Daisy Yellow prompt from Tammy Garcia, and her prompt for this one was ribbon. And then the prompt for the mixed media prompt from Nina Fickett was, oh my goodness, I can't remember. Oh, heavy gesso. Haha, there it is. It's right there. I knew it. Um, and I did use both of those prompts in this video. So I'm starting with just some collage. It's the way I like to start a lot of my mixed media art, especially these cards. I'm not a big fan of just the plain white card. So putting down a little bit of collage kind of gets me past that, messes it up, makes it a different surface, and a lot of times I tend to start with whatever it is the prompts are, and that way they're done. Um, but for now, I'm starting with this collage. I think that big base piece there is just some copy paper that's coffee dyed, and then there's some book pages that have got gesso and some off stamping and a little bit of coffee stain on it. And then my favorite is dictionary paper. It works its way into almost everything I do, y'all. I don't know. It's just kind of my signature. All right, and so I've got the heavy gesso for the mixed media prompt, and I've decided to use a stencil. And yeah, see, heavy gesso. And y'all, that's the only actual heavy gesso I have is that Prima brand heavy gesso from Finnabair. But I am using this silicone spatula thing and just, I don't know, scraping that heavy gesso onto my card with that spatula. Kind of like you would a texture paste, but I'm using it with gesso. All right, so I'm gonna go uh, rinse off my stencil so that I don't mess it up. First, I'm going to brayer off some of that gesso, and I thought I was gonna go dry it. Um, anyway, I dried my card, and I'm coming back in with some golden fluid acrylic, and that's quinacridone nickel azo gold. Y'all, that's one of my absolute favorite colors. It's got this yummy rustiness, and I'm not big on like orangey colors, but this one, just because everything about it reminds me of rust, it makes me so happy. So I watered that down a little, just kind of randomly put it on the card, wet the card a little bit, and I'm letting it move as much as I can on that card. I'm going to dry it real quick and then come back in. It lightened up more than I really wanted. So I'm going to come back in with a little bit more of that. And then I think I'm going to splatter some more of that on this card. Now I'm going to go ahead and tell you I love this card. It is, I don't know, there's a bunch of them this year that I'm really digging. I know that there's already a couple I didn't like, and I will not be including in this video series because I won't put either of us through that. So, we're not quite there yet. All right, so that was some Payne's Gray. That was the Master's Touch brand from Hobby Lobby. I tend to always water that one down. If I put it straight onto something, it tends to be a little too shiny for me. So I put it down and watered it and just splattered it onto my card to give a little bit of darkness to it. Now here's where I'm trying to work in the ribbon prompt from Tammy. And basically this is some homemade ribbon. All ribbon is a strip of fabric. So this is some fabric I had altered as part of the fodder challenge from Willow Wanders. I think it was Dee Dee Catron's video that had us altering some fabric. And so this is some that I had left over from the card I made, and I decided I'm going to work it into this card as part of my ribbon for this challenge. So I messed around with it far too long. I decided it's a lot more frayed on one edge than the other, and that was the edge I wanted poking up. Um, Here I decided to use Rusty Hinge Distress Oxide to ink up the edges because that's what I used to make the little X's on that piece of fabric ribbon. And I guess I thought I needed some more of the Payne's Gray splatter, and you see I got a big old blob there on that left corner. It's going to bother me, but it ends up really kind of working in my favor. I tried to like blot it up there. I ended up just like wiping it away with my finger, and I'm like, oh, that's awful. So then I just get my wet paintbrush and kind of smear it out a little, and it gives it such a yummy ageness. It was like one of those happy accidents that happen every now and then when it just works out better after you mess up. So I dried that, and now I've got my ribbon again. And I grabbed some of the Tim Holtz paper dolls, and I found this girl almost immediately. She was just the right height for my card, and I knew pretty quickly she was going to go down. I decided to distress her a little bit. I didn't like the white where it's cut on the edges, so I'm using a cosmetic sponge and that Rusty Hinge Distress Oxide just to kind of go around the outside of that. I think I decided I needed, the black soot as well. So just to give a little more shadow and dark to that. I did that, I don't know, pretty quickly. Like I said, I just wanted her to have a little bit of shadow to her. And I'm going to use matte gel medium, I believe, and a palette knife to glue that down. Now, one thing I have found with these index cards nowadays are really thin and flimsy. I remember them being kind of thick and like more heavy cardstock, like when I was in school, but that was many years ago. And they're just not quite as thick anymore. So anytime I put a whole lot of media on something, especially after I wet it and dry it and wet it and dry it, they tend to curl. So in several of these videos, I struggle with trying to get them to lay flat. Alright, so there's my matte gel medium and my palette knife, and I am just getting it onto the back of that ribbon, onto the back of my little paper doll girl, and I'm going to stick them down. And I've got my little tin of phrases here, and the first one I pulled out says, "The child looked tired and sad." And yeah, I was like, okay, yeah, that perfectly works because that poor little girl in this picture, she's not really smiling. She's just kind of like, okay, yeah, I'm having my picture taken. Go on. So yeah, she looks a little tired and sad. So I'm going to cut that down so that it fits a little bit better onto my card. And then I think that's it, y'all. This was I don't know, I'm so happy with this card. Anytime I use that nickel azo gold and Payne's Gray, I'm happy. So, this one really thrilled me. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you have any questions and keep on crafting on. Thanks for watching. Bye.